Good evening, everybody. We are live, and I have some guests with me this evening. I am, of course, Michael Oden. I am the creator and founder of Nine Realms Publishing, but you guys already know that, so let's say hello to our guests. Nef, introduce yourself, friend.
I am Nefarious. That's pretty much, it. I am the founder creator of Global Frequency Studios, the author of Mavericks, and just all around intelligent, helpful person, or at least I try to be. And I am sitting currently above Dean James.
Yes, g'day everyone. I am Dean James, your mate in comics from the land down under, and I'm happy to be here. G'day everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Dean's the artist on the Embrace, in case you didn't know.
Oh yeah. We'll get to that eventually, though.
We'll get there. All right, Xevious, you're up.
I am known around here as Xevious, and I'm a full-time professional illustrator, art director, typographer. You know, if it gets printed, I can make it happen.
You're a drawer.
Yeah, I like to draw, and I'm a fun guy to follow in social. We all chase it around all day, so that's part of it too. So good to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for coming out. We might have one other guest pop on here in a little bit, but before we do anything else, let's say hello to our chat because they've come out to hang out with us today. We've got Arrogant Ape here. I would say that he was first, but I already know that Nef was first in the chat when I posted up the link here this morning. So sorry, Arrogant Ape, you got beat out by like 12 hours.
No, a guest isn't allowed to be first in the chat, though. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Is that a rule?
No!
Yeah, he's on the panel, so it doesn't count.
He is disqualified by a technicality. Arrogant Ape, congratulations on being first. And then we've got Kimasabi letting us know that we were late and gay, or late and gway. I apologize.
Yeah.
Freudian slip there, guys. Anyways, then we got Mo Biggs. What chat would it be without a Mo?
Hail Mo.
So hail Mo, and then we've got Ted Lehman in the chat. Ted is actually a fantastic artist that is involved with one of the projects that we're going to be talking about this evening. Hopefully he can join us. He has a link. If he's able to, awesome. If not, at the very least, he's hanging. He is here with us in spirit in the chat.
Hail, Ted.
Yes. And then we've got Aardvark has joined the chat. And
hello, Aardvark.
Mo Biggs is saying, what does the future hold? 2 words, 1 hype, 2 school. Yeah, I know.
Yep. Truer words have never been spoken. You better be ready.
Arrogant Ape is celebrating his victory over Nef over the technicality. Nef is just stewing there in my
I'll
second.
get you next time, Ape.
You gotta say it. You gotta say it in your best Professor Claw impersonation.
I'll get you next time, Ape.
That was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, that was better than I was expecting.
All righty then. Well, before we get into anything else, I will do some shameless plugging. Right now, we are sitting at $7,926 on SPQRs Bizarre Adventure and Elysian Fields Remaster. I will put this up here only briefly for Mo's sake. But yeah, this is our current campaign where you can catch up on all of our back catalog and enjoy our unabashed weeb product. Don't forget that there are only 2 pages left of Dean James's original art from the Embrace 1, and those funds go immediately to Dean to continue work on the Embrace 2. And we are closing this up not this Friday, but the following June 10th. So yeah, make sure that you get in on that. And then the other big thing is I ended up launching on B-Rose the other night the Embrace 2 sign-up page, which I had no intention of doing until I got completely sideswiped by this, so you can
Praise
sign up.
Chad Rose.
Yeah, praise Chad Rose. So if you sign up for the Embrace 2, you will actually get a exclusive holofoil trading card done by the fantastic Xevious, who is with us here tonight on the panel. And that is the only way you will get this holofoil trading card is if you sign up. And we will have this. You can see this beautiful 6 a.m. Embrace chibi that will be unlocked as a pin as one of our stretch goals in the campaign. So make sure that you're signed up for that. We are at 69 signups, and we've only been live for 2 days. As an outstanding start. Thank you guys so much for the support. And I know that we can get that. We can keep pushing that, and we'll have to do something special. We'll have to reveal something special if we hit when we hit 100 signups, because this is going real fast. I'm very excited by how well that's doing. So with that being said, there is the big reason why I wanted to have everyone here this evening is because there are a lot of really crazy things going on with Nine Realms, and I've had some people asking me what the hell is going on, because there are things coming out from my end like all the time. And today we had Xevious reveal a really, really great piece for a project that we're going to be working on. But before we get to that,
yes, Xevious is a notorious leaker.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. This is something that he and I have been working on for a while. I was ecstatic to see it. He did a phenomenal job. We'll pull that up here in a little bit. But I think that since we were just talking about the Embrace 2, Dean, let's pull up what you've been working on. Is it okay if I do that?
Really? I don't mind. I thought you would leave the Embrace until later on in the show, because that's what the people came here for. That's your flagship title and everything.
No, he's doing it now quickly to get it out of the way so everyone can leave and go back over to Lord Kraken's channel.
Just get that shit over with.
Good work.
I don't know, man.
Very considerate of you.
All right. How about this then? How about we start off and we will talk about we'll talk about the project that one of the projects that I'm going to be doing that I've been that I haven't revealed anything for yet. That I am pretty excited about. That kind of goes along with some pretty big news that I even announced on Reni's stream earlier, where I just submitted my first piece of academia for peer review, which is a big deal. And this concept came to me while I was doing the research for this, which I know doesn't sound like it's particularly fun, but I promise this is actually
I'm going to
really
vouch for you on this one. This one actually is an awesome idea. If this is what I'm thinking it is, it's such a cool, clever, it's like, oh, of course that's what happened in this small gap of history. So it's perfect. So I will vouch for it. Give it a chance. This is going to be good.
And so what I will say is that this initially had a completely different title until a certain person on this panel yelled at me and said, "No, you need to make it this." I'll let them let the audience know here. But so the title for this is called Romans versus Zombies. And
what was it called before I gave you the brilliant input? Romans versus Zombies.
What it was initially going to be called, what I initially thought of calling it, was Lost Legion Island of Ghosts.
Doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it?
It doesn't even tell you what it's about.
Right.
No questions asked now. You know exactly what this is.
3 words, and you want to buy this. Yeah, it was like Shotgun Samurai. I mean, come on. Romans versus Zombies. I want it.
No, crazy man. It wasn't me. It was Neff. It was not me this time.
It was
not
Neff.
this time. Not
this one time.
This one time, Neff have a good idea.
We have a fantastic artist from Italy, Stefano Cardacelli, who I found Jim O'Reilly had posted up, had reposted Stefano's cover for his book Ironhead that he had done, and I loved it. And I knew I wanted to work with this guy on something. And I was doing this whole paper on the disappearance of the Ninth Legion, and it hit me. And I was like, yes, it makes complete sense. Ninth Legion goes up into northern Britain and has to fight a zombie invasion. And so that's what the book is. And it's got a lot of badass action. Stefano brings this very Miller-esque style to his art. It kind of feels like a cross between like old school Frank Miller and why am I blanking on his name? Hellboy, Mignola, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Mignola, you got there.
Yeah. So it's got a very good blend, and it's just going to be an absolute blast. So this here is our primary character, the Centurion Marius Varenus, who is like as I said, he's our protagonist. It's going to be a lot of fun. He's very much your stereotypical Centurion type. And then we also have another character sheet by Stefano.
As far as I'm concerned, this is just exactly what happened in that time period. This is history.
This is what happened. There is no.
Yeah. Why else would they exclude it?
I mean, we don't know.
Was this or vampires?
Hadrian never revealed why he built
exactly.
That in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw down in the chat, Mike. Mo Biggs had a very good suggestion for like a subtitle for the first issue. You want to hunt for it? Or you want me to just tell you what it was? Legionnaires Deceased.
Legionnaires Deceased. I actually like that. I like that a lot.
Of course, Mo Biggs.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's clever.
Well, I'm sure that I'll only be able to get that if I do some groveling. I'll have to figure out what I need to do to get that subtitle from Mo.
Yeah.
Nothing offered by Mo comes without a price.
Make a cup or something. I don't know, like a mug.
Make a mug or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like another mug. Yeah.
We have Lady Ali Sanguis has joined the chat. We as well as Trish
Hail,
Marie.
Lady Ali Sanguis.
Hail,
Trish Marie.
We've got Chris Fisk. Hello, hail to all.
Yo.
I think I saw, and Crazy Mad got here earlier. I'm sorry that we did not shout out to you earlier. But hail, thank you very much. We've got a pretty booming chat this evening.
We all tweeted it out, man. We let people know we were coming.
Right? It's all us. It's nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. You guys are the star attraction anyway. I just write things.
Yeah, hashtag just a writer.
Hashtag just a writer.
I can relate. Xevious is sitting here being like hashtag everything.
Yeah, it's like
he does. It's like it's not just drawing, right? He does all of it. It is pre-press. It is like you said earlier. If it can be published, he can do it.
Yep, it's
pretty much. Yeah.
It's like not inaccurate.
Oh my god! And then I've got a couple of days to finish an animated video, like for Friday or Saturday. So no bedtime for me today.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're gonna be working for a while then.
How
long does the video go for?
What's that?
How long is the video in total?
This is for Geeks and Gamers dude called Josiah Rises.
Oh yeah, I know him.
He's an awesome guy. It's gonna be about a 15-second like those guys. He's got a new show called the Epicverse.
15 seconds. At least it's short.
Yeah. But it's super fast techno, so it's like and it's like the guys in a UFO going through like the pyramids and sucking up monsters and Bigfoot and mummies.
I think I saw him fighting like Quetzalcoatl, right?
Yeah. I've been teasing it a bit. Yeah, so, it'll be fun.
But yeah, no, like that looks fun, man. And we will get to Xevious' thing here in just a sec, because that's definitely been a big draw. Xevious, how many retweets have you gotten on that thing today? Like, I know that you were over 100 likes, but how many retweets have you gotten on that piece today?
Yeah, let me bring it up.
That thing's insane.
What thing?
It did well. Like you know, I mean,
feel like
Twitter.
I've seen-
You know what? Well, since we're talking about it, I'll bring it up.
Sure.
So
Yeah, like Twitter is so fickle, and we all have to know better than to gauge something being good or bad by, you know, ignorance. And sometimes I'll do something, and it gets
Oh
like
yeah,
a
I've
lot.
seen this.
yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
So-
That was-
I guess this is the perfect kind of time to transition into what Xevious and I have been working on, which is
Sure.
this character called Judex. And so Judex is kind of my answer to the Shadow.
Mhm.
A lot of people here that know me know that one of the big things that got me into actually writing comics was pitching a Shadow series to Dynamite, which would have gotten picked up if they still had the printing rights, as far as what I was told by their creative director. So writing the Shadow has been like a dream of mine.
Mhm.
But when I was doing the research, effectively what it comes down to is there are a lot of his stories that are in the public domain, but his core design elements and everything like that are trademarked. So I wouldn't be able to make him the Shadow. But what I did find out is that Walter Gibson, who created the Shadow, based his character entirely off of this French pulp hero from a silent film called Judex. And when I saw the character, I knew right then and there that this was my way to do it. And so we've reworked this character a bit. And so Judex is this mysterious avenger and a mystical freedom fighter during the Vichy occupation of Paris, France. And he is sitting there lurking in the shadows of the Court of Miracles, which is, which in this book is this like hub of French culture. It's kind of like his bat cave. It's where he's hanging out and he's peering into a crystal ball and seeing all the injustices around the city, and he's going out and he's responding to each one of them. And let me tell you, this was a tough cookie to crack, but when Xevious and I finally did it, like this thing turned out stunning. I mean, I absolutely love this mask.
Yeah. It just,
And
I want to be clear. I've
Let's
said this
talk
on,
about it.
I said this on Twitter a couple times today, or more than a couple. Michael showed me a reference. He's like, dude, I think I got this figured out. And he sent me like just a squib, a pencil of the scales of justice sort of occupying the center of this other just really interesting sort of black enamel, metal mask. I was messing around with it, and I ended up with the that's kind of zoomed out a bit, but basically the chains.
I think I can zoom in here. Hold on.
Yeah. And then the chains actually form this really interesting brow thing. And it was a pretty generic, I don't remember where the origin was, but I wanted to have this intensity because this is a guy there you go. So yeah, the whole, it's basically just an unmodified scale of justice right in the middle of this thing. So, just felt good, and I called it a day. Yeah, that was this morning. So I'm glad people like it.
Oh, we got a question in the chat.
Yes.
That mask, is it a helmet or is it like a masquerade mask?
It's a masquerade mask.
Yep.
It is not. It is not a
like,
helmet, because you can see
like the hat,
you can even see his ears poking out of the side here.
Because Crazy Matt has a point. Why would you need to wear a hat if it's a helmet?
It is not a helmet. It is a mask.
So he can tip it to his lady.
That's
yes, of course.
Oh God! In the back, I heard it come up. I did a pencil about a week or so ago of him tipping his hat. Then I heard through the grapevine that I think it was Buddy told me that Mike said that he wouldn't tip his hat. I was like, well, you never know.
That's not really his personality. As I said, like this guy's based off of the Shadow. You don't really see the Shadow tipping his fedora down to ladies. He's kind of just laughing maniacally and gunning people down.
What about one super hot lady one time?
I mean, exceptions to the rule.
How hot are we talking, right?
Oh,
yeah, it's like
yeah,
like
yeah.
So this,
why gold, not bronze? This is the first iteration of this character ever, and I suppose we could get into some nitty gritty stuff like that. Is it gold or bronze? I mean, it's yellow and orange. I'm just a lowly painter. I just make shit up and then, put it on Twitter.
Yeah, what even is gold?
Yeah,
And
right.
Mo
So
asks
a
my
lowly
own-
artist, just like like every major politician or political figure or famous person, make shit up and put it on Twitter. It's like
So-
everyone else.
Mo
Yeah.
Biggs is asking, my only question is, if you're going to use something in the public domain that is this obscure, why not just make a similar character that you can own? And that's a good question.
Fair question.
But like again, the whole thing is that this character gave me an avenue to effectively write the Shadow and have all of the Shadow's same powers, like a lot of the Shadow's same powers, and not come into copyright infringement, not come into trademark infringement or anything like that, because Walter B. Gibson based so much of the Shadow off of this character. It was a loophole.
I was gonna say his powers, Judex's powers, are cooler than the Shadow's powers, in my opinion. And this book, it's compelling in a way that I haven't felt other comic books live up to.
Neff has read the script for this.
Well, I mean, so is Chemo. Honestly, like who hasn't read the script by now, right? Because it's in my opinion, next to The Embrace, it's like one of your better works. Not to say that the other ones weren't better, or good, but this one really feels like with The Embrace, you got something. And I really like Judex's motif, the whole like mystical element to it and his mysteriousness. But the Shadow's got like a certain series, a set of powers that's limited. Judex feels like he could do anything because of the source and the mystery around what he can do. Do you want to tell people more about Judex?
Yeah, well, and so like effectively, as I said, before I get into that, I do want to say we do have Unhinged Entertainment. Jason Bascom has joined the chat, so hello to Jason.
Hola.
But as far as Judex is concerned, what Neff was talking about is I have Judex is based in the Court of Miracles, which I have kind of set up in this. It was a historical thing, but in this, it is like the mystical hub that is the heart of France. Like in it, it's kind of like a bat cave. It's got all of these things that are indicative of French culture. You've got like the Iron Mask from Man in the Iron Mask. You've got D'Artagnan's sword, Cosette's red shoes from Les Mis. You've got the shattered chandelier from the French Opera House and Phantom of the Opera. Like all of these things that are indicative of French culture and mythology are all
French identity
here
during World War II, when France is under Nazi occupied rule, and France has literally gone underground, and they're hiding what the French are protecting and hiding the artifacts of their identity within the Court of Miracles. And Judex is just kind of like this. He's drawing upon the supernatural essence of those things, the magic of it. And that is empowering him. And there's something like, I don't know, I get goosebumps thinking about that and the possibilities that come out of that, especially with the setting.
And that's the whole thing, is that Judex is kind of to the pulse of Paris. Like his whole thing throughout, his motif throughout the book is kind of, he's able to hear the breath of the city, and he's asking if the people of France, the people of Paris who have submitted to this Nazi occupation, if they can hear it too. Can they hear their city gasping? Can they hear it reaching out and begging for help? And are they going to do anything about it?
You got everyone wanting to see the script in the chat now. Good job. See, I don't know why you bring me on to like.
When will this comic be coming out?
That is undetermined right now. This is a
so it's not like the very next one or anything.
The very next one we've already established is the Embrace 2.
I'm just doing this for. No, I mean after that, obviously.
Yeah.
So when Odin was planning to do, I'm just cutting you off and taking the reins here for a hot second. When Odin was planning to do his releases, we were talking about, Elysian Fields and the Embrace being like the things that he's really established, and then the other projects that he's got on the side burners that he wants to like put into things. I think looking at the Nine Realms catalog recently with SPQR, the way that he's done that, offering the Embrace and Elysian Fields along with like the new title was really cool. So, and it was successful. If you look at it, it was, really successful.
Yeah,
People who are, the Embrace did really well. It was like 15K and this one's 10K. And I don't think that the entirety of that can be attributed to SPQR. I think something has to be said for the fact that like Nine Realms catalog also pulled some of its weight. So coming out with like a little smattering, an offering, a slate of books, if you will, it's probably the best way to run a campaign. So the next book's going to be Embrace 2, right? Maybe there's like someone offering alongside that, or Embrace 2 does its own thing. And then after that, there's a new Nine Realms catalog that comes out with Romans versus Zombies added to it. And he puts Judex in there. So even though he doesn't necessarily know the order of which one's coming next, we know that Embrace 2 has to be the next book that gets done, because that's one of his flagship titles. I did ask him about whether or not he wants to do another Elysian Fields after that, but I think he's more interested in doing like Judex or one of the other properties that we're going to see coming up. In addition to
the thing is, I've the script for Elysian Fields 3 is done.
That's the other thing. All your scripts are pretty much hammered out, right?
Yes. So like the script for Elysian Fields Book 3, Pages of the Dead, is done. I think that the biggest thing that's held me back from doing it is that there hasn't been the demand. Like I love Elysian Fields, and I'm all down to go to do that next story. But like, I'm not having people gun me down with when is Elysian Fields 3 coming down. Like pretty much every stream that I go on, or at least until we launched the pre-launch the other night, every single time that I've been on a stream, it's when is the Embrace 2 coming? Like, and I love Elysian Fields, and we've built a strong base there. But I mean, I have to pay attention to what is the most vocal. Right?
You've been having an identity crisis lately. You are the Embrace guy now.
Yeah. We've got creators.
Well, what about you, Dean? Are you the Embrace guy? Everyone.
Yeah, I was always the guy from the Embrace. That's exactly right. That's where I started.
You've been putting out a lot of new stuff, like you put out that drawing of Aerith, you put out that drawing of the chick from Shotgun Samurai, whose name I can't remember, like some really beautiful stuff. Tofu, right? And you're sort of like breaking out of the mold of just the Embrace guy, right? Like Odin's capitalizing on all these other ideas and properties that he's got, so he can be more like the Nine Realms guy. I guess. To answer
Lady Ali Singwiss's question, would have a Frenchman? Oh, that's not a question.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
I thought that she was asking if it would. and yes, no, like absolutely, because like the embodiment of French freedom is a character called La Marianne, and she plays a very big role in from like a symbolic aspect in a lot of the iconography that you'll see in Judex. But yeah, no, like and Dean's right. I absolutely have gone through like this kind of identity crisis where like Elysian Fields is like my first kid from like a creative standpoint. And I adore it, but like everybody wants more Embrace. And then, this thing has done very well. Xevious, were you able to pull up the statistics that you had on that? Because this thing's been, my phone has been buzzing nonstop all day.
I'm sure I was asked a question, but I cannot remember what it was now.
Aren't you more than the Embrace guy? I don't know. That was my question.
Oh, am I?
No.
You interrupted me, and I never got to answer, and I forgot what it was.
Oh well, I mean,
But yeah, no, I was. I'm always going to be the guy from the Embrace, because that was like my first book ever, like that's part of my history, my career now. Like as a comic book artist, that'll always be the first thing that I worked on. But, also as an artist, I'm constantly growing and changing and trying new things. And, like I have a reputation at the moment as the guy who's leveling up like heaps and heaps and heaps. You see something I drew this week compared to something last week, and it's twice as good, So
isn't that cool, man, when that happens?
It really is. It's awesome. But like, it's like, this is just the beginning for me. Like, who knows where the future is. Like, I don't intend on quitting being a comic book artist anytime soon. Like, this was always my childhood dream and stuff. So it's just gonna continue and go from here. Who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this less than I mean, I've been doing art for over 20 years, but comics. I mean, I was here as a colorist 2 years ago. I think with well, I think my first thing is I did a couple of Cyberfrog logos for Ethan, and did some comp covers, and then Buddy got me in as a colorist, and then I ended up swapping in as the artist, and here I am. Like maybe 18 months under my belt, and I get that too. That most of the stuff I do is better than the thing from last month, and so on and so on. So, But hey, to answer your question, Michael, this is this thing got 150 likes and 36 retweets so far.
Nice.
That's not bad. So
not bad at all. And I really think that this is going to draw people, and I'm very excited about this. When I sent Neff the script for it, he got back to me in like a day and was like, "This might be one of my favorite things that you've written." And he got mad at me because I remember I read
it was
him
so
like,
fast. He did it like this. That's the thing about Odin. He'll get an idea and he'll get really giddy about it,
and he'll just run with it.
Something will come out of him, and then he'll run off and do another thing. And usually that thing that comes out of him is kind of loose and watery, and it needs a little bit more cohesiveness, and it needs to be
a little sticky.
Exactly. A little, it's not quite right.
It needs a little bit of a mop.
Right. Yeah. I read it. I was like, God damn it. How did you nail it on the first try? I don't know. Maybe
he did the same thing with the Embrace too.
People saw it first and tightened it up, and I saw the second draft. But I remember telling me about Judex, and it was like the end of the week he had something. It was scary.
Maybe Odin's getting better as a writer the way we're all getting better as artists, right? Like, because he did the same thing with the Embrace 2 as well. With the Embrace 1, we went back and forth a lot and on the structure of the story, and we actually moved some scenes around and put them at the end instead of the front and stuff like that, right? But with the Embrace 2, it was literally, oh yeah, this is perfect. Like, we might need to iron out some of the dialogue, but this is the story, and it's great. And he's just nailed it on the first try. So I don't know, like, maybe it's just like with the artwork, he's practicing.
The more that you do of these things, the better that you get at it.
Yeah.
And Nev, you were the first person that read Judex. I had not workshopped that around at all.
There you go.
So I remember when I read the setting description for the first panel, and you were like, "That's going to be narration in the book, right? Like, that's going to be how that goes." I was like, "No, that's just the panel description," because Xevious told me that he really likes having the page. He doesn't like having like page structure. He wants to like.
Oh yeah, and I got mad at you. I was like, "No, that needs to be narration. Fuck you." That's.
And so I was like, well, what I could do is I could have it like published at the back of the book, like so that people can read that element once they've seen how Xevious brings it to life.
Yeah, it's possible just do like the first 2 pages of the way that you described it to the author. But the really cool way that Odin does Judex is he kind of does it Rorschach's journal style in the beginning of him like speaking to him. I'm sorry, I'm going to give away all the secrets of the book that I read, so I can't keep my mouth shut.
We're
right. Let's move on to the next thing
before it comes out.
Yeah. What else have you got in store for us, Ogden?
Oh yeah. Okay. So
what was Nine Realms doing?
All right.
This guy's been staring into my eyes and stealing my soul for a bit too long.
Exactly. We've been admiring this for a hot minute. So the next one is actually a bit of a passion project of mine. This one, I'm still like the script is done, but like I go back and tweak things every now and again because this is actually a very important book to me. As a lot of people know, growing up, my favorite character was Captain America, and so I have this character that I did that's kind of got a lot of that in it, obviously, and you'll be able to tell that right from the get-go when you see this design. If Ted Lehman is still in the chat here, this is our character, the Field, and this is actually a third rework of the design. I had worked with another artist previously, and things didn't mesh well creatively there, so I moved forward, and I'm working with Ted, and he did a fantastic job. And so what I really wanted was I wanted this design that kind of screamed that whole Captain America thing, but it's actually a very different story. I served in the Army as an infantryman for 6 years. I didn't personally get to see any combat. I went on a year-long deployment to Qatar, which is like a paid vacation in the devil's asshole. But I got to know a lot of people that went through a lot. I've done a lot of work at Wounded Warrior clinics with disabled vets. And in fact, when I did the 0 issue of Elysian Fields, I took 25 books to the Walter Reed Special Forces Clinic and handed them out to soldiers there. So this is something that is really important to me. And one of the big things that I wanted to do with this character is I wanted this to be a story about a guy that went through that. He got blown up by an IED and he lost his arm and his leg, and the world's kind of they're treating him like a hero. They're telling him that he's a hero and everything, but they're also treating him with these kitty gloves. They're treating him like he's made out of broken glass, like he can snap at every second. So he gets this opportunity to be a soldier again, to be a warrior again. And that's really what the heart of the field is about. Is it's this guy that's getting this second chance to do the thing that he felt like he is meant to do, and going out there and being able to do it. It is a script that I've been working on for about 1.5 years. I still go back and read it and find things wrong with it. It's very much my Neff talks all the time about how he's a perfectionist, where he'll go back and he'll see something wrong with something that he's done and he'll hate it and he'll want to delete. That's how I am with this script. It's very important to me. Because I really, really want this to hit the right note with it. I really want people to, because I see this not only as a way to have this really cool superhero that's, he's a wounded warrior that's getting a chance to just be a warrior again. He feels like he's being made whole, but I also want to help people understand how these guys see things, at least based off of my experience, that you don't need to treat these guys like they're about to break. And in fact, sometimes it's better to let them try and do the thing on their own. If they ask you for help them. But it's just one of these things where everyone, I think everyone's good natured and wants guys out. But there's a lot of times where I feel that people try to help a guy because they see him struggling and they don't understand that him struggling is him. That's his fight now. And you helping him without him asking could actually have a different effect than what you're expecting. And so that's really one of the things that I want to bring home with this character, is that these guys are warriors first, and that deserves its own respect. And that's what I wanted to do with this character. And I'm really, really passionate about this. This is when I do this, my brother served in the Airborne Rangers. He was in Iraq and Afghanistan multiple times, and he's linked me up with a few agencies that specifically help with veterans of the Ranger Regiment. And so I'm probably going to be partnering up with one of those to do something special for this book as well. So yeah. Now that I'm done putting people to tears, I'm sorry. It's just, this is a very important book to me. Yes, it's fun action and everything, but there is that emotional core there, which I guess is kind of my brand. I posted up a thing of something my brother said for Memorial Day and posted it in a group chat, and Neff's the only one that responds and immediately goes, "Wow, that's dark and deep." That's on brand for Odin, of course.
It's an Odin book. Yep. Let's kill more children.
Yeah, I'm still convinced that he just sits in the dark and cries while he writes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
the only way he can
probably
get
part of
anything
his
done.
process, though.
Yeah,
he puts on My Chemical Romance and lots of eyeliner, and he
dims the
sits
lights.
there. And gets really emo about things, and then out of him come pouring some really awesome comics.
I mean, yeah, you can't argue with the results, right?
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
whatever that
Yeah.
process is, as long as it's not like masturbating in a bathtub with a toaster plugged into the wall, and you do you, man. You do you.
It's all just this gamble. One day he's going to accidentally die doing it, whatever that process is.
Who was it who used to like strangle themselves, like autoerotic asphyxiation, the musician, and then like we wound up like finding him.
He
dead?
found himself dead. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the
Michael-
recent one. That was an actual tragedy, but it was like,
No, that's Michael Hutchins from In Excess.
was it?
fair.
Yeah. And then it's like, dude, that's part of your process. Just as long as you don't die doing it, and they find you with a giant hard-on hanging in your fucking living room, then
Exactly.
then it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not at
Otherwise,
that.
we're gonna. Could you imagine if that's what Odin did, and we'd have the embrace and everything to like remember him by, but also the knowledge that he went out strangling himself with a giant hard-on, and I don't.
Especially given
I'm ruining the show.
especially given that like the villain of my book's called Strangle, it just feel like a weird Freudian slip.
Is that what's going on? All right, I get it now.
Oh God,
Mo's comment: unlike Ogden's favorite band, the Nine Realms roadmap to success is no simple plan.
Well,
Clever.
I feel like at this point, like it's one of these things where if I want to continue to grow, one of the things that I can do to make myself competitive is to put out a larger volume and variety of content. And I have my flagships, I have the Embrace and everything like that draws people in. But I can showcase the diversity of storytelling and brand of Nine Realms in, like, as Neff was saying.
I have a question. That actually does sound really good, but it makes me actually ask something that I'm sure the chat would want to know. Do these characters all exist in like a Nine Realms universe, or what is the deal with all of your books? Considering you're going to have so many IPs, do they coexist or what?
So effectively, how I kind of see it is that there are definitely things that have their own universes. Like obviously, Romans
Elysian
versus
Fields
isn't going to be mixing with like the Field or anything like that. Like those are two stark contrast IPs.
Yeah, but they could have
that.
happened on the same Earth because it is such a different timeline.
Like your boy Zach with Iron Sights and Impossible Stars.
Exactly.
It's the same shared universe.
We could have Mexicans.
You could have Romans versus zombies.
Somebody
and
needs
the
to clip
Embrace.
Dean saying we could have Mexicans and send that, because that's going to be a part of the Embrace promotional circuit. Thank you very much.
He funded, okay? We can laugh all we want, but he funded, for fuck's sake. 9
Madness.
days, $50,000 selling the books on Mexicans.
Mexicans. I love it.
Oh God! But anyways, there are certain characters. Like there's going to be a character that is very connected to the Field called Jin, who we don't have his character concept done yet. Who is effectively an Afghani Punisher, and he plays a lot along with that. There's another character called Janice that is going to play into that universe as well. Like there are characters that are going to have that shared interconnectivity.
Field and Janice in the same universe?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Whew.
Whoa.
That's gonna get tense.
Mm.
I mean, I don't think the Field is on quite the same level as Janice, but that would be intense.
It's never going to be a thing where the Field fights Janice, because as you well, like Neff has been very involved with Janice, because there are a lot of elements to Janice that are out of my purview, because it's got some very heavy science stuff that I've had to do some research on, and Neff has kind of been pointing me in the direction.
Now, Janice isn't really on the radar of like what's next. We've got these books to talk about, but would you mind leaking?
I can show this off.
You can? Yo, this shit is insane, bro.
All right,
I love
give me a
the
sec.
character
Good luck
art.
figuring out how to draw this. Any fans out there, honestly, this is awesome.
No, this is going to be impossible. I mean, it's from one of, in my opinion, the best character sheet designers out there, because he goes like 10 feet deep in a 6-inch hole, if you know what I mean. Like the level of detail that Jeremy puts into these things. You go zoom in on that though. You know, like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wow, that's good.
Let's see. Hold on.
Is that as big as you can get? Come on, man.
I can do bigger.
Yeah.
It's just I have to get the actual.
Yeah. Get in on that.
You
Look
got to
at
keep
the
this.
skull on the face, and it's crazy.
Got to keep
this
this
is
top secret
Janice.
though.
He's
I
really
mean,
good.
we're on a live stream, so like, the secret's out. This is a character that will.
No, but
called
I mean, don't
Janice.
explain it. Just be like, this is Janice, and that's it.
Yeah, like this is all you
This
get.
is Janice.
This is Janice. He's very, very cool. He is a very broken character, and he has a fantastic concept. And I still haven't written the script for him yet because it's intimidating.
And that's why he's not like, it's a crazy concept. Very, very cool character, and it's definitely going to be a thing. Judex is far more easy to establish. The story is great, very straightforward, going to be a really fun read. The field is also, he's more like Captain America, so it's more plausible. Janice is he breaks molds. I can't talk to you. Odin's gonna kick me. Maybe I should talk about it, so Odin will kick me.
No, you're not getting kicked. I need you here.
he's I can't wait to see when the story,
You're the only thing standing between him and hype school right now, Neff.
when the story kind of coalesces around Janice and Odin finally figures out how to unspool that story. That's going to be probably one of his more groundbreaking superhero books.
Yeah, it's very, as I said, man, it's a very intimidating story to write, because his powers are just so out there. Like, when I came up with them, I had to immediately come up with limiters, because like it was one of those things, like, if he can just do this stuff, there is no way anyone is ever going to be able to beat this guy ever, and he will be accused of being a Gary Stew to the end of time.
That's the thing, though. Like, you put limiters in place, and also the repercussions of using those powers just on a metaphysical level, like literally the way that those powers will affect reality itself, that in and of itself is its own consequence. So there's a really cool design around the sheer nigh omnipotence that this character could achieve, what it would mean for him to achieve that. So I can't wait for Odin to let me be able to tell you more about
it. It's okay. We'll get there soon. Once I have, because I'm going to be having Neff. I'm going to be having you go over that script with like the finest tooth comb ever. When I have,
I'll pick the lice out of your hair. Don't worry.
I know you will. Yeah. So Mo Biggs is saying in hype school we have to find a way to be as impressed with Ogden's ideas as he is. Hey, thanks, Mo.
Mo, just knock him down a peg. We need to keep Mo around, man, to keep us
that's what
from
Mo's
getting
here
high on
for.
our own farts.
You know what Mo is? You know how in like the days of Rome you had the triumphs and the guy would be sitting there in the
none of us do. Odin.
Yeah, I can't say I know.
All right, so back. Anyways,
I love how Xevious had no shame in going no.
so like back in ancient Rome, whenever you would have a triumph, which was this big celebration parade, the person that was being honored would be in the chariot, and he'd be like waving and celebrating, but behind him you had a slave that was whispering into his ear, "Memento mori, death comes for us all."
Ooh,
I don't think Mo's quite that sinister. He'd be whispering something else in your ear, like, Weebery's degeneracy.
Yeah, they're
but
actually
like,
cheering
Rob
for
comes
me.
for us all. But there's an element to that I see. It's he's not sobering us up so much as he is, like
He's
kicking
humbling
us in the shin to remind us that we're mortal.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy Man
Crazy
says
Man
you're
says your 30 seconds is up and he's walking out of the elevator.
Okay, thanks, Crazy Mad. We're at 50 minutes and 24 seconds. We're well past the elevator pitch here, guys.
Yeah,
the
we're doing
elevator
good
pitch for
though.
that character.
I've got to admit, there is actually a lot of exciting stuff going on, right? Like when you see it all side by side, it's like, oh shit, because I've seen it, separately, months apart and stuff. But this is the first time I've ever actually seen it all together, all at once. And it's like, oh damn, like there's a lot of stuff going on here.
And so, speaking of that, that's really
Also,
like the
someone
last-
said something. How many? Someone said something a second ago, and I didn't say anything. How many things am I working on? I'll be doing a cover for Romans versus Zombies, and
Yes.
obviously all the Embrace books. And there'll probably be other like covers and posters and other things like scattered
You're going
throughout.
to be doing something for Judex.
Am I? So there you go.
We've talked
Oh right. I actually am. Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about.
he remembers his artist's assignment.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right,
There's
the
a
thing. Yeah.
yeah. There's a few things I'm doing. Yeah.
So what I will say is that for those of you who do care about my Weebery, SPQR is not ending with the with this current thing. There will be another SPQR. I will have more details on that later, though, because I don't have anything to show off for that right now. But SPQR is not ending. It was way too successful for me to consider doing that. So, anyways, that being said, we're at 51 minutes.
Hail, Michael T.
We've got Michael T's just joined
Michael
us.
T.
Which is perfect because Michael T is one of our biggest Embrace stands.
He is. I've seen him draw fan work, and he's drawn multiple pieces of fan art for the Embrace.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, thanks. Anyways, Dean, you have been first. Let's start this off.
This is me. Yes,
you did this beautiful cover for the Embrace 2. So let's start with there.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm very proud of that, to be honest. Like, this was actually, it was an idea I had in my head for a while. Like, I knew exactly what the cover was going to be months ago. So, yeah, like, I'm just glad that other people liked it as much as I thought, people would. So,
and so this turned out absolutely great. I mean, it's even better because it's not like, I feel like a lot of times, especially in the indie scene, whether it's CG or not, everyone's trying to play into the mainstream market by doing nostalgia covers, homages, and everything like that. So original compositions are kind of a rarity almost. And this turned out so great. So why don't you talk about that a little bit? Like what was, because you initially pitched this to me and it looked very different in my head based off of how you described it.
Yeah. Well, I had a few different ideas. Like this is like there was 4 or 5 different angles and variations that I tried before I landed on just like this the eerie lurking. Like when you're looking at this, it feels like you're out in the darkness as well. Like you're watching this, but they don't know you're there watching them. All right. Basically, I wanted to really capture the idea of the only light in, like, actually the actual only physical light in the whole thing is David. Like how you've always said that he's the light in the darkness. This is literal darkness that they are in, and he is the only light there, and so he's the light source of the whole page. And I really wanted to have the Strangle, our newly revealed supervillain for the whole series, the main big bad, to like be like lurking over him, like I really wanted it to show, because basically we had a lot of people call the Embrace OP, and I really wanted to show with this cover alone, like you haven't seen nothing yet, like he's about to get stomped by this new villain. Like this new villain is way more powerful than the Embrace is, and the cover alone shows it. Like this is a very vulnerable position that the Embrace has been left in.
Yeah. No, and that's kind of what I was going for with the script as well, as a hero's journey begins and they rise to the occasion and what have you. But no hero is worth their salt until they get knocked down and face adversity. So the second book puts the Embrace in a position where he gets
This
messed
was
up. Going
this
to be
was also going to be a lot of people's first impression of Strangle. Like a lot of people, this will be the first time that they see him properly. You know, like he was a spoiler in the first book, and now he is on the cover of the second. You know, so it's a big shift in dynamic. He's stepping out of the shadows to really mess things up and stuff. And like my original idea was, do you know where my original idea for this cover actually came from? Of all things, it's ridiculous. But you know the movie The Producers, where they do that marionette scene,
Yes.
and he's got her sitting on his lap as a puppet, and she's like, moving around like a puppet, and he's got that was my original idea for this, and I had like this whole idea of having the Embrace strung up like a marionette, and then I've had other people say that it looks kind of bondagey, and even some females say that it was sexy. So that's odd, but I'm just glad you guys like it.
Absolutely.
That's 100% traditional, Crazy Mad. I will be selling this cover on the campaign. Like that is what it looks like in real life. It's so fully traditionally colored and drawn and inked.
All of the pages.
What did you color? What did you color it with?
It's Copics and Prismacolor pencils, and some paint pen and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, it's
nice. I wouldn't have guessed.
The smoke. Honestly, my favorite part of this cover, I told Odin, I don't mean to like sound like I'm belittling any of the rest of the art, but I love the poster, the wanted poster. That is my favorite part of this cover. It is
a lot of people really like that.
It's just something so wonderful about that, amidst the smoke and the sinisterness and the texture on the tongue, and like him looming over the Embrace and how vulnerable the Embrace is. And then down at the bottom, here's the wanted poster. It's perfect. I love that. There's the comedy and tragedy of it. Really good.
There's a bidding war going on between Arrogant Ape and Crazy Mad in the chat
already. What?
for owning the cover.
Yeah.
F the campaign, I have cash. But yeah, my favorite part of the whole cover is the tongue, because of the way I had the saliva and stuff around his tongue, exactly how I wanted it to be. But there's also that little bit that I don't think anyone even really notices it, right? But the two hands on his shoulders are actually like tied up behind his head.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't know. When I drew that, I was like, that's clever. Like you've never seen anything like that before. But it's such it's all the little details like that. It's the tongue and the saliva and the little hands that I have all tied up.
Mo, don't you have a wrench? Shouldn't you be like stopping this infighting in the chat? Crazy Mad.
Doge and Ape Coin.
Doge and Ape Coin. I'm Ape Coin.
Anyway, Dean, how about we show off what you've been working on? Do you want to share a screen, or do you want me to?
I don't even have it open yet. I sent it to you earlier.
But
gotcha. Feel free to share whatever you like, because I've been busily working.
This is the
you want to talk about it before you reveal it, or explain to people what they're about to see, because it's a lot to take in, not gonna lie.
I was getting
good luck coloring this, Paul.
Yeah, no shit. For a brief second, Dean was like, thank God that I decided not to color this book. But anyways, so when I wanted to start obviously production on the Embrace 2, we had one of the pieces of art sold from the campaign, and any piece of original Embrace art from the SPQR campaign that sells goes immediately to Dean to get work on pages. And so he got to work on the second and third page of the book, which is a 2-page spread that's got a fantastic action sequence going on at its centerpiece, but then it's surrounded by all of these like super cool, iconic,
it's a superhero montage.
Yeah, like it's just absolutely great, and Dean knocked it out of the park.
This will
happy.
also be inked. Once this is inked, because this is fully traditional, yeah. But once this is fully inked, the pair of pages will also be for sale on the campaign
Yes,
because
and-
it's like that cool looking that I know people are gonna want it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that all like Dean is doing the entire book traditional from the pencil angle, I believe, correct?
Yeah, it's
Pencil
all different. It's completely different the way I work these days than I did for the first book.
Yeah.
The first book
So-
was mostly digital with some traditional pencils, where these days I have a whole new system where I line everything. Like I get my pages printed out, obviously, but then I'm doing it all traditionally after having the panels done digitally. So I have the panels already done perfectly, and then I pencil into that around the page. Like I design the page digitally, basically, and then I do it all traditionally after that. I print it out and do it all traditionally.
Interesting.
Yeah. It seems to be working for like rate, like, you know, size and perspective and stuff like that. I can get it all perfect before I even start. And so here we have my finished pencils on an actual, you know, 2 pieces of 11 by 17. This is going to be page 2 and 3 of the Embrace.
What we have
You know what's weird
here
about
is-
that, man? I often do my layouts with pencil on paper or with like just with Sharpies. Then I'll take a photo of it and then I'll go to digital. So I'm basically doing
Yeah,
it backwards.
that's how I used to. That's how I used to do it. I've swapped.
Wow. Cool. Crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Well, and so what obviously here what we have in the center is we've got the Embraces on top of this car that's speeding towards our camera, and then I'm
And
gonna
zoom in so they can see it a bit better and like go on
so that we
different
can take a
pieces.
look. So you've got, you know, the Embrace and
Basically, what we have happening is we have a superhero montage talking about how the Embrace is, you know, there's a superhero vigilante taking out the gangs and, you know, doing superhero stuff and what's happening. And mid through this explanation, we have this montage of all these cool things happening. And so basically what's happening right now is the Embrace is on top of this car, this speeding car, and, you know, I don't know, thugs or something inside. But he is smashed through this page as you turn the page. And so all the panels and everything are going flying, everything's shattered. And inside all of those little shattered pieces is a different situation that the Embrace has been handling. You know, so like just pick one and I'll explain them as you go along.
Everyone know what this is.
Everyone knows what that is straight away, yeah. We have the Embrace stopping a speeding train, just like Spider-Man, doing the whole, doing a nice homage to one of the greatest superhero scenes in cinema history. Then we have a nice little look at Diablo right there, who is, you know, the guy from number 1 who was in charge of the gang and stuff. He's still out on the loose. Then we have a nice like far away shot of the Embrace just, you know, leaping through the city and stuff with the silhouette, as well as a good look at the Embrace on top of that car in the main shot, which in my opinion, best picture of the Embrace that has ever been drawn. I love the way he's on there. And like he's got his fingers in the window of the car. I'm going to put some cracks and stuff in there when I ink it. And yeah, basically on the next page, he rips that windshield clean out. It's going to be great. Wait until you guys see this shit. You know, and then you got like the photo of David from his tombstone, which you guys, anyone who's got number 1 would recognize that. And you got a picture of Clarence in number 2, which as you can see, he is now shaved, but he is still quite angry and, you know, a bit of a mess. You have the Embrace, you know, with creepy hands coming up to interrogate someone that he's got wrapped upside down. You have some, you know, biker dude or something holding a chick hostage at a bar. And then you have the Embrace, like, you know, doing his thing. You have creepy hands just coming at you, heaps and heaps of them.
Michael Bancroft's worst nightmare.
Yeah. There's, you know, a lot of cool stuff like that, like just superhero stuff. You know, you got a bunch of dudes stuck to the wall, and security guards finding them with all the, you know, money they were trying to steal. Embrace knocking out a tooth.
Your favorite.
Oh, yeah, you can barely see the pencils in the photo. Zoom in on that properly. But yeah, there's like a cat on a branch in a tree. And there's like, you know, the spooky hand sneaking up behind it to grab the cat and help the cat out of the tree. But, you know, like classic superhero stuff.
Awesome.
Just him interrogating some dude, you know. Like I was running out of room. Him punching someone.
Oh man,
Yeah, just got all the stuff.
Because he's filling this page up and he starts running out of ideas. He goes, Odin, what else do you want in this? Because like I've got everything I can think of. What else can we include in here?
Yeah. Hail the Crackback. I asked the Crackback for some ideas for superhero montages as well. I'm like, is there anything that I need to include?
Spider-Man!
That was where I got the Spider-Man idea from. They're like, get him stopping a train or something.
I love that page though.
But yeah, so this is my double page spread. It's the first double page spread I've ever had to do, like traditionally, because the last double page spread I ever did was like a trick double page spread. It was kind of split in half. You had one face on one side and one face on the other, so I could draw it separately. Whereas this, you have the car going right through the middle, and so I had to do a double page spread properly, and it was actually the first time I've ever had to do that. So like, I'm very happy with how it turned out.
Looks good to me.
It really did.
Yeah. And yeah, what Ape says, every good hero needs to save a cat from a tree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Xevious.
Him and Crazy Mad have entered into the actual negotiation part of their infighting, where Crazy Mad has offered up in exchange for the cover.
All right, well, I'll make sure that they're both priced the same then. So it's a fair trade.
Draw him banging Cyclops on the moon. Very heroic. Okay, we get
that.
it.
Yeah. That can be the next superhero homage I do, all right? We'll just have him sitting on a bed next to some unnamed Cyclops dude.
All right, guys. Well, I think that about wraps it up. I hope that everyone's had a fun time looking at what we've got going on here with Nine Realms Publishing. It's going to be a very exciting next year or so. We've got a lot of, as I said, and as I've shown here this evening, we have a lot of stuff in being worked on and being developed, and it's really exciting. Between Judex, we've got the Field, we've got Janus, we've got the Embrace, we got Romans versus Zombies, we've got all of this stuff that that I'm really looking forward to bring to you guys. It's been an incredible journey getting here, and I'm so grateful for everyone that's on the panel here with me tonight that's helping me do this. You guys are Xevious and Dean, you guys have been fantastic to work with, and Nef, you're my sounding board for any idiocy that I come up with. You're the person that tells me if something's good or
just make sure you go and like check calmer heads who are more professional at times after you talk.
Oh, of course. But I do really appreciate that. And to everyone that's in the chat here that's been hanging out with us tonight, thank you guys for coming out. Before we go out, everyone shout out where people can find you. If you've got any projects going on, get those out there, and then I'll get your links and then put them in the video description so that if anybody's watching the replay, they know where to go.
Yeah.
All right. So Nef, you started off.
I am found at the Global Freak, FREQ, on Twitter. I have a website that hasn't been updated in a really long time. You can check out my Indiegogo campaign that is still in demand. It is Mavericks, Mavricks, on Indiegogo. If you haven't already checked it out. Yeah, that's me.
Critically acclaimed now too. Everyone that's read it has said it is fantastic.
I just want to print it and out of my house, dude. All the stretch goals and boxes and everything have been living in my living room. I want it out of my house.
And you had a lot of that stuff too. You had so much stuff.
Movie in months. I just want to watch a movie in my living room.
This is how I felt when I was fulfilling the Embrace, and we had all the printing issues as well.
We had so many boxes. The Embrace boxes took up so much space.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I literally was getting yelled at because I'm with my folks, and they're like, "You need to figure out what to do with this crap." Like I don't know what to do.
Even at my house, I had the whole kitchen table just covered in boxes.
Oh man. But anyways, Dean, where can the good people find you, friend?
Oh, you can find me on almost any social media platform under Comics Mate or DJ Comics Mate, or any variation of Comics Mate. You will find me straight away. I'm available on YouTube as Comics Mate because, I'm your mate in comics from the land down under. And yeah, you'll find me in many comic books throughout Indiegogo. So go sign up for the Embrace too and check out anything else that you see my name attached to because it's guaranteed quality, I promise.
Absolutely. And yeah, man, we're doing really well on that Embrace sign up. Let me refresh and see if we got any new ones while we've been hanging out here. We may have. We'll see. We are at 70, so we got one more.
Yes.
Nice.
Even number.
Right on.
And so, Xevious, where can people find you?
So I'm like I said, a full-time illustrator, typographer, designer, and at the moment, I do animation too. But Xevious with 2 S's, as you see on screen. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on YouTube. Not often enough, but here I am right now. And I try to put out at least one good piece of art every day, and maybe one selfie too. So come check me out. I try to keep my feed fun.
Yeah, man, and thank you once again. Tremendous job on that Judex piece, man. It's phenomenal. Really excited to get to work with you on that more.
Hang on, it was my pleasure. I love having a win like that. Like, yeah, like I say, when your phone just goes ding, 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 ding all day long.
Mine was buzzing like all afternoon. I was at work and my supervisor was coming by and doing a check. I was like, "Why is your phone vibrating? Why are you getting?"
Because I'm popular.
It's like I'm not actually getting a call. I'm getting blown up with Twitter notifications.
It's good.
Feels good. It's a good feeling to have. So thank you once again for that. And then of course you can get Sins of the Fae is live on Indiegogo right now. It is in demand. Make sure that you guys don't miss out on that. Xevious has been kicking that book's ass. Everything that he puts out from it is just absolutely stunner. And that's written by Buddy Lord, who's there in the chat. I'm sorry, Buddy. I knew I said I was going to get you a link to the stream, but I completely spazzed. So we'll have to bring you on here another time. Huh?
Oh, and I could just do that.
Speaking of and Buddy and Sins, I took a bit of a break there for the last 2 weeks, and then we're right back on it. So again, keep your eyes on Buddy's. Go follow him, Buddy Lord on Twitter with 2 Ds.
Nobody knows what they're not ready, dude. They're not ready for Sins.
No, they're not.
People are not ready. It is not like anything that you've seen come out of this side of indie comics, ever, but certainly not recently. I can confidently say that it's a game changer when it comes to the art and the story.
Thanks, Neff. Yeah, I think you're right. Buddy and I work hard. We do 2+ hour production meetings every few mornings. It's just what we do, and I've got my to-do list is longer than something. It's long, so yeah. Stay tuned.
Well, and as I said, I'll make sure that the Sins of the Fae link is up in the video description here before I go to bed this evening, so that anyone that's catching the replay knows where to go to get that. As same thing with you as well, Nefarious, is we'll make sure that the Mavericks link is up there. Cool. One last time, shouting out, the Embrace sign-up is live right now. We have 70 sign-ups, and SPQRs Bizarre Adventure is $100 away from hitting 8K. We are closing that campaign out on June 10th. And as a reminder, the 10K stretch goal is live throughout when we close. So if we do end up hitting it by that point in time, you guys will be getting the Embrace 2 preview ashcan, which will probably be shipped out separate than the actual books. This is going to take a bit longer to do, but really excited. You guys have been outstanding. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for everyone that's been here with me tonight to talk about what Nine Realms has in the future. And thank you to all the fantastic people in the chat. Without you, there wouldn't be a point in being here. So you guys have a good night, and we will see you. I will see anybody that's going to join me on Friday for Brews and Reviews. It's either going to be a little bit earlier or much later. Just depends on when I decide to do the stream. But we will see you then. All right. Thanks so much.
Good night to the chat.